What's going on, team? It's Caddy with Muddy Wrestling. I hope that you all are having an amazing day. So in this video we will be talking about the SPY and the QQQ ETF pre-market, where they're trading and where can we potentially see the markets and some of the other stocks go today and tomorrow to finish out the week. As always, if you guys enjoy this video, please make sure to drop a like. It really helps out with the channel and recommends this video to other people who might be interested in watching. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future market updates and videos related to investing and or technical breakdowns. So this right here is going to be the SPY ETF that is directly interlinked with the S&P 500 index, so it follows it on a day-by-day basis. So yesterday you guys will notice the SPY ETF closed at close to 2% in the green, and today, as of the time of this video, we are currently down pre-market just about 0.5%. So we are taking a little breather from the last 4 days of volatility. So Thursday, Friday, and Tuesday, after the huge Labor Day weekend, the markets were essentially down quite a bit. The S&P 500 took a hit of over 7% correction. The Nasdaq was down over 10%. And then yesterday, both of those market indices, including the Dow Jones, rebounded to some extent. And now again, it's looking like we are in the red. So if you were to go over to QQQ, which is going to be the Nasdaq ETF, it's down a little bit less, just about 27 basis points in the red pre-market. So this right here is going to be the analysis right now. There's a strong support at 268 for the Nasdaq ETF, which is going to be QQQ. So you can see that on Tuesday we hit a low of 266.35, and then over the next few days, so yesterday we essentially pushed up, and then it's looking like we are now starting to curl back down. But the interesting thing to note here is that from a price action standpoint, this right here is a green candle. Even though we're down, we were even further down. So QQQ ETF opened even lower at $274, or down 78 basis points, but we have been bought up during the pre-market hours. So if you were to go over to the 5-minute chart, you'll notice how this is how we gap down, and then we did push up higher, and we are starting to make some type of higher lows. So we're not going as low as it did the previous time. Now, of course, that's going to change as we get closer to the open and rest of the day, but that's just my opinion from a price action standpoint. It's looking like there is some type of strength moving forward. Now, of course, that has to come from the tech sector, because the last 3 days tech has absolutely been crushed, you guys will know. And yesterday there was a decent amount of rebound that we saw for most of the blue chip big tech companies. Now, looking at SPY, which again is going to be the S&P 500. It's a very similar pattern. On Tuesday, we hit a low of about $329.65, and right now we're down just about 0.5%, trading at $338.15. So we did push up, and we're now starting to curl back down just a little bit. But similar to the Nasdaq ETF, we were down even further, down about 80 basis points, trading as low as 337. So we have pushed up just a little bit. So if you go over to the 5-minute chart, you guys will notice that again, similar to the Nasdaq ETF, we gapped down. So this right here is a huge gap down. We push up, get rejected right here at the 340 resistance, and then pull back all the way down to 337. So this right here, in my opinion, is going to be the resistance, the pre-market resistance that the SPY needs to break out of in order for us to even see a green day. And then this right here is going to be a very good validated support at around $337 that we need to maintain moving forward. And I would honestly want the markets to just cool off, because we've seen a lot of volatility lately with a lot of huge swings both up and down. So, you know, in my opinion, I would want the market to just take a breather, consolidate, go sideways for a little bit until we figure things out with the stimulus, with the presidency. There's a lot of uncertainty in the markets, and we also need to keep a close eye on the VIX, which is going to be the volatility index. And right now, you guys will notice that we are kind of like pushing down. And yet from my yesterday's video, we essentially went over the fact that every time the VIX essentially spikes, there's usually a sign of uncertainty, and that's when the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq take a huge hit and they push down. So if you go over to the 4-hour chart, again, you'll notice that it is bouncing off of the 200 moving average, which is going to be the blue line, and the market is open for the VIX index. So to give you guys a quick summary from what we talked about yesterday, every time the VIX jumps, it makes lower highs, right? So going back as far as June 11th, June 12th, it did not go up as high as it did back when we had the crash in March. Now, more recently, going back as far as last week, the VIX jumped again, and this was again a surge of over 80% in the VIX index. But similar to prior jumps, you'll notice how it did not go as high as it did the previous time. So in my yesterday's video, I essentially asked you guys and shared my opinion that moving forward, I would not be surprised if the VIX index essentially fills in this gap and dies down once again, as it has done historically after these huge surges. Now, the most I see the VIX surging to is going to be 44, right around this level from back on June 9th and June 10th, because of the simple reason that's where the next resistance is sitting. Now, of course, it's making these lower highs, so it could die down even moving forward, so it could fill this gap. But if we do see another sell-off in the market indices, that's about as high as I would go for the VIX. I personally don't see it going as high as from levels back in March and April, because that would be a very severe drop in the market indices. In my opinion, that is very, very unlikely. So now let's go over to some of the stocks. So Tesla right now trading higher, up about 2.5%. And yesterday we saw the last trade that went through, and I think it was around $374 to $375 per share. And right now, as of the time of this video, it's trading at $375.50, up just over 2.5%, validating that support right here at 322. So it pulled back all the way down to this level on Tuesday, and then yesterday we saw a really good rebound of close to 11%, and now it's pushing up again. The next resistance I want you guys to watch, and if you are able to break out of it, is going to be right here at $388, because that has previously acted as some type of a minor resistance going back as far as August 18th. We pushed up, started consolidating sideways, and then had a huge breakout with volume, you guys can see right here on August 20th. So that's the next resistance we need to watch. And then of course at $399 to $400 level is going to be the next resistance, which is also where the 50 EMA, which is the exponential moving average, is sitting right here, which is what the yellow line represents. So that's going to be the next resistance. And again, in my opinion, I want Tesla stock to kind of cool off, take volatility off the table because of the huge swings that we are seeing in both the price and the market cap. So I want it to really consolidate, go sideways, and pretty much do nothing. I want the volume to die down, in my opinion, because of how volatile the markets have been. And I'm going to be very neutral moving forward. I don't want things to go crazy again. I just want it to kind of cool off, take a little breather, take a step back, until we figure things out in a more logical way and figure out where the valuations actually stand for a lot of these companies. Now, last but not least, I want to quickly go over some of the other stocks related to tech. So Apple, for example, up just about 0.5%, and Apple has the ability to drag the markets with it. So if it does continue to push on this uptrend today going into tomorrow, we could see a further rebound on the S&P 500 and more specifically the NASDAQ index. So right now, the next resistance is going to be sitting at 123, which is what this level right here represents. And that's also acted as some really strong support going back as far as August 25th. So we were bouncing off of these levels before this huge breakout and hitting new all-time highs at 138. So that's going to be the next resistance that we need to watch. That's going to be a jump of another 4.5% to 5% for Apple stock. But the next support, in my opinion, is going to be the low from Tuesday, and this right here, the horizontal line, which is sitting at $110 per share. So again, very similar to other stocks. I just want Apple stock to start going sideways, consolidate for a little bit, and make that volatility and beta go down slightly. Now, last but not least, quickly going over Microsoft, because Microsoft is one of my favorite stocks, and right now you guys will notice that it's down close to about 40 basis points after the huge rebound of over 4% that we saw yesterday. And right now, in my opinion, this right here is going to be a support at 208, and this again is a green candle, so you guys will notice that we were down even lower, trading as low as $208 per share right on the dot. So if you guys were to look at right here, that's the open, high, low, and close for the stock. So pre-market we hit a low of 208, and right now we are at $210.45. So on the 5-minute chart, you guys will notice that we came back all the way down to this level and then pushed up pre-markets. Right now there's not a lot of volume, so this is why the candles are very weird to look at. But that being said, looking at the 4-hour chart, a strong support at $200, a strong support at 208. The next resistance is at 215.50 to $216 level, which is what this level represents right here. So we have gotten rejected here multiple times, going back as far as the first week of August, and then even further going back as the first week of June. And then of course the all-time high sits at 230 to 233. And don't forget, there is a deadline and an ultimatum on the TikTok deal for next week, September 15th. So if there's any news that comes out related to that, Microsoft stock will react to that news, in my opinion, quite aggressively. So again, I'm bullish on Microsoft. So if you guys did enjoy this video and my quick morning update, please make sure to drop a like. It really helps out with the channel and recommends this video to other people. As always, happy investing, and I will see you guys in the next video.